Hi everyone, this is a Freckle tutorial and it is going over a three-phase implementation plan for Freckle. So what they recommend for Freckle is that you have a three-phase implementation plan. And in the first phase, that's where you collect your data, you make sure that everyone can access the program. And if you're using STAR, that you integrate your STAR data in with your Freckle, that you are using the adaptive practice, the fact practice, that's what the AP and the FP are, that you're using your level reports to see where your students are starting, and then watching that to see how many levels they are growing as they progress through the program. And then also your activity feed. As a teacher, you'll want to watch your activity feed so that you can keep an eye on the progress of your students. And then using your printables. So both the math and, well, I think all of the programs, but specifically for summer school, the math and the ELA have printables that you can use for offline. So in phase one, we're talking about how do I collect data? And to do that, you're going to have your students work in both the adaptive and focus skills practice that are based on your STAR or Freckle pretest data. And then that you're also having them spend some time working on their fact practice in math and their word study practice to build up and get practice time in both math and ELA. Then as a teacher, you're going to make sure that you're providing your students with planned opportunities for completing and working on those practices at least two times or two sessions per week. So right here, you can click to see action steps. This has a linkable that will take you to the action steps. I'm going back to phase two. On phase two, you're implementing targeted practice. So you're actually assigning some targeted practice using those standards tabs so that you can get in there and set your students in the specific standards that you're wanting them to get extra practice on, and that's beside your phase one fact practice and word practice. This is focused practice on those standards that you know, that looking at even STAR testing data, TEA STAR testing data, as well as your past CBAs, things that those students, your students better than the computer does, those things, that the standards that they still need to work on. You're assigning those adaptive practices. The computer's assigning the adaptive practice, but you're also assigning those targeted practice, and that's the TP. And then you're letting them also work on the fact practice or the word skills practice. Assignments tab, you're using that tab to look at and make sure that your students are actually engaged, spending the time that they need to spend and working on what you've assigned. You're using your class grouping report. There's a report that you can look at that will actually group your students. And I'm going to click to the next one. The reports that you would want to use are you're going to monitor their practice time. That's that activity feed I just talked about. If you click each of these, they're links to a video that will show you specifics about each of these reports. Your levels report, I talked about it just a minute ago. It will just show you where they started and then how many levels they're moving up as they progress through the products. And then monitor their focus skills. So there is a place where you can, in the standards tab, click to have them just focus on focus skills, the things that we know that they need in order to be successful in the things they're working on now, but also in their upcoming TEKs. This one is monitor using those focus skills with the skills progress report. You can use that report to help you monitor those focus skill practices. And then the this one is specifically for the math printables, but if you're on the ELA tab, you can also print off assignments for them to work offline and practice with. So, how do I align Freckle practice to what I'm currently teaching? So, you want to plan and assign targeted practice. Those are things you assign based on the standards that are currently being taught. So if you're using this for summer school, what is it that you're currently focusing on? Teachers can view resources available on that standards tab, and that standards tab is also where you will set to have it focus on focus skills. Teachers view student activity and progress on the assignments using the activity feed and the assignments page. And once again, if you click on each of these, there are videos to help get you acquainted with each one of those. And then once again, this is a printable that you can print off that will help you see it if you need something in print. Okay, and so then this was what I was talking about in that phase 2 with our class grouping. How can Freckle be used to help set up groups? So there's the class grouping. If you click here, it will show you how to do that. Along with the standard, you can assign standards, use that assign standard option along with your class grouping report, and it will set um, standards practice for the kids in that specific group. And you can have it by mixed levels or within the same level. So you can really be specific about your differentiation. And you can also assign targeted practice to those groups. You just click the assign standard button. This little link gives you ideas for using Freckle in stations. So once you have them grouped, then you can click here for ideas of things you can do within stations to support those groups. Then with phase 3, you can see that you're going to be managing your results. This is where you'll use some of those report cards and performance by standard reports. You can get a math performance report and a ELA standards report for looking to see where those students are falling now versus when they first came into the program, and your report card will help with that as well. And then this is a link that you can click on this page. You can click here and it will give you some ideas of just different things that you can do within the Freckle platform. And then the last thing is just phase 3 is how do I drive my instruction using the Freckle data? So you need to navigate and filter through those performance reports. If you click on here, there's a video about each of them. And then once you've done that, from that performance report, you can reassign targeted practice and you can assign it by standards to those students. And then have discussions with them. And then once they do it again, you can look at those reports again. You can look at their goals, the student goals report, and help them realize where they need to work. You can use the standards tab to find and utilize additional instructional components. There's something called inquiry-based learning that you can use, and you can also from that standards tab filter for your focus skills. And then driving your instruction using Freckle, there are lessons that reinforce or build out those important standards. And once again, remember to click here for the printable version. If you need any help one-on-one, you can either go to renaissance.u or you can email me and I can come sit with you one-to-one and we can get through this new product together for our summer school. Hope this helps.